JP, can you hear me? On your left.
Is that everyone?
What, you wanted more?
Avengers!
Assemble.
What's going on, comic friends? It's Ryan the Colossus Collector, and I am back from my recent trip to Terrificon 2024. As you saw from that very epic intro, I got together with my greatest friends in the comic community and planned a trip to go to this con. I had heard such great things about it. It's a true comic convention, and so that was the one we wanted to go and meet at. And I'm honestly, in a way, lost for words of how amazing that trip was. I met these guys, these brothers, made them brothers, and created memories with them that honestly I treasure above anything you see behind me, anything in my collection. It was the highlight of my collecting life, my comic life. And to be honest, it was a highlight of my life straight up. It was just such an amazing weekend to be able to meet these guys in person, to get to know them, and to really just realize we all mesh so well together. It's like we, in a lot of ways, have been friends for many years. And I mean, we talk every day online on Instagram, but it was seamless. It was honestly seamless coming together at this convention. And then I got to meet so many other great community members, get to know them. I mean, we always talk about how great this community is. It is literally so great. It's amazing. I'm blown away. I'm almost get a tear brought to my eyes about when I think about how genuine and amazing all of you are, and especially all those who I met at Terrificon in Connecticut. It was incredible, and I'm sold. It's going to take a lot for me to not go every year. It's about a 7-8 hour drive. Add in stops and stuff for me, but it's worth it. I'll do that drive every year, no problem at all. So yeah, Terrificon 2024 was amazing. I don't want to ramble on too much. I want to get into the footage and the videos. I just want to say, if you're not already, please consider subscribing to the channel. I hope you like this video. If you do, drop a like on it, drop a comment. Let me know what you thought about my intro, about what you're about to see the rest of the way. If you've ever been to Connecticut for Terrificon, or if you plan to, let's connect. I'd love to meet you next year. And I just want to, also say I put a lot into this video, like a lot. That intro that you just watched took me long hours, multiple days in a row. It worked out that I had this week off and I could put in the time, because I don't know if I could do that on a regular work schedule. But honestly, I made that opening, and I'm making this whole video for all of you, but really, I was just talking to Brandon from Mon Comics. I really made that for my friends that I met. Just my way of saying thanks, and I thought it would be fun, and a really just an enjoyable little footnote on Terrificon 2024. But I wanted to just say this video is part one, as you saw from the thumbnail for the video. I'm going to take you through the story of Terrificon 2024 from my perspective. Who I hung out with, who I met, where we went, the con, all that stuff, footage, photos, and just get kind of like a real sort of diary of the show and of the trip. And then, we'll come back here. I'll do a quick little recap. There's a little bit of an end to this video, so please watch all the way to the end. You won't be disappointed. And then my next video, part two, I will show you all the goodies I got. All the comics, the things I got signed, some other nice little items that I got at the con, picked up, gifts from friends. And then I also really want to talk to you guys about maybe just a few little regrets, some tips, some things I learned about Terrificon that I think I would have loved to have heard from somebody before I went to the show, when I was looking up Terrificon videos. Just certain things that you can't just find when you go online looking for information, or the odd YouTube live stream, just little things that I identified as, oh, that's a cool thing, or oh, I wish I did that. So please keep an eye out for part two. I'm going to roll that out pretty quickly in the next few days, maybe at the start of this following week. And I'm going to drop that. And then I'm also going to drop a second con video. I went to Fan Expo Toronto the following weekend right after Terrificon, so that's coming up too. But without further ado, let's get into Terrificon 2024 footage and the story, and I hope you enjoy. Whoa. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here. Can't just start by walking into Terrificon on day one. First, we gotta go all the way back to last fall, when I really started talking to what are now my brothers in comic collecting, some of my dearest friends that I've made over the course of the last year. We started talking about getting together at a con, and it kind of coincided with Mike from Lunch Money Comics talking about how he wished he did more at Terrificon last year. And so the idea was born. And the first time we talked about it in a public setting was all the way back at Christmas time.
Yeah. Well,
are we doing a meetup at Wonder or Terrificon?
We are
Yeah,
definitely doing that. Terrificon's on for this coming year, but maybe the
That's
next
August.
year we go out west or something.
I just wish there was something.
And after 8 months of planning, of anticipation, we finally got to the time of Terrificon 2024. But before I was going to get to Mohegan Sun at Connecticut, I had to pick up a couple of friends along the way. Brandon from Mon Comics and JP from Absolute Game of Nerds, both channels here on YouTube. If you haven't already seen them or subscribed to them, please do so. These guys are my brothers, my road trip buddies, and we had an absolute great time. Brandon and his wife graciously hosted us for Wednesday night before hitting the road the rest of the way towards Mohegan Sun and Terrificon. But on that Wednesday, we went and did some digging, some hunting at a local antique flea market. Brandon's going to have a video about that in more depth. I didn't take any footage, but saw lots of cool stuff, as you could see. Comic related stuff and a lot of non-comic related stuff that was really cool too. But these are just a few little pictures from that day. We grabbed a bite to eat and had just a really fun day with each other, getting to know each other in person. And then the next day we hit the road for Terrificon. So it's just over a 4-hour drive to Mohegan Sun from where Brandon lives. But we decided to take a little bit of a detour to make a pit stop at our friend Mike's house. Obviously, Mike from Lunch Money Comics invited us over to have a quick little stop and check out his collection, check out his collection room, the place where he shoots all his videos, and we were really happy to do that, to also meet with Mike in person before we get into the madness that is Terrificon. So it was a really great time, and Mike was so nice. He gave us each some gifts in honor of the weekend, in honor of our friendship, and I will definitely get into that in my next video, but wanted to shout out Mike for having us there and for the awesome gifts. Then we got to Mohegan Sun and we caught up first with our buddies Bruce from Up North Comics and Ricky from All Sorts of Words, who had got there ahead of us, and we decided to walk around. We kind of snuck into the area, the Earth Convention Center at Mohegan where Terrificon takes place. Took a look at a few things real quick before just going out and having some cigars, hanging out with our friends. We also caught up with Troy from Awesome Toy Box with Troy, and I know he looks kind of angry in this photo, but he had just had a nightmare travel day, but we were all excited to be together finally, and excited for the con to start the next day. Thursday was pretty low-key, met some new people, and we're just getting started on an incredible weekend. So then Friday, day one arrived. Here we are on our way to the Earth Expo to get in line for Terrificon. Luckily, I had my 3-day VIP pass, so got through the line real quick on Friday. And when we got there, ran into Brian, Big McFly the comic guy, Dan, X-Men Comics, and Rohan from the Absolute Game of Nerds, who had just arrived, and then, of course, Mike. And then we saw Mitch Halleck, the creator of Terrificon, and their mascot.
Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to Terrificon.
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Who are you most excited to see here?
Oh, this guy.
This guy.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see these guys
These guys.
and Chris Claremont. And Chris Claremont.
You've got everything that you need right here then.
Yeah.
We do.
Well, and you.
Oh,
You're
and
great.
me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.
Delightful. No explosives inside, Mr. Deadpool. Ah.
He was very dedicated to his role. So we got in through security, and I convened with my Chris Claremont X-Men crew, Dan from Dan's X-Men Comics, Bruce from Up North Comics, and my buddy Justin from No Good Comics. Subscribe to all of them, follow them on Instagram, and we had to make our way to our biggest target of the weekend, Chris Claremont. And it was such a great start to this con weekend to be with these 4 guys, my fellow X-Men fans, and go meet our favorite writer. So we were early, and Chris Claremont's line was not too long. Our friend JP was a little bit ahead of us, getting his signings done already, and we just had a blast talking in line.
All right, I'm with the boys online. Chris Claremont, yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Wraps around, and he's back there somewhere.
Mike was also a little earlier than us and got in line ahead of us and got some great books signed as well. Then it was our turn to meet the legendary Chris Claremont, and we all got some great books signed. Justin got this really cool book with a Snicket remark that Chris does, and we had some interesting moments with Chris. He's got a dry sense of humor, and he's talking to lots of people all day, and you'll see one of the funny interactions Dan had with him coming up here. But in the end, it was such an awesome experience, and we did end up leaving with some really nice vibes, some nice experiences talking with him, and he did a really special thing for me as well. But we'll keep that a secret for now.
Sign next to that with a year. It's 2022. Thought that.
Thanks for that, Dan.
Maybe. That's cool. Just to, you only get one shot,
We laughed quite a bit about that. But in the end, we had a really good time meeting Chris Claremont. Right at the end of my signing with Bruce and Dan right next to me, we talked to him a little bit and just told him how much we really enjoy his writing and how we created the Council of X because we love his work and X-Men, and he was really appreciative, and just some nice genuine moments with him at his table. Spent the rest of the first day just running around the artist alley, getting signatures, dropping off some sketchbooks for some sketches, original art from creators, and that was pretty much my first day. Didn't do much else content-wise. Then we headed off for a bite to eat and met up with Ricky and Rowan and Mike and Troy and Justin as well. And Ricky was showing us his picture with Keanu Reeves, which he got up at 5 in the morning to line up for. He did a whole video on it. I suggest you go check out that video at All Sorts of Words here on YouTube. Didn't capture a whole lot more that day. We, in the evening, hung out in one of the rooms, had some drinks, caught up, enjoyed conversation, and then went down for, casino time, more drinking, another night at the cigar bar. I swear I went to that place every night, found somebody to go with, and just met more people and had a really, really great time. Friday night was a lot of fun, and the whole day was fun, hence why I didn't capture a whole lot of content that day. Saturday got a little bit much more content for the videos, and Friday was really all about getting all the signings done while the lines were a little bit shorter, and really just soaking in that first day, meeting people, and having a good time, which we definitely did. So on to Saturday. So Saturday was all about taking in the con, enjoying meeting people, and it was definitely the busiest day of the con. So it was the day I really wanted to hunt for books, get all kinds of great stuff, because I had really knocked out those signatures and the standing in lines the day before when it wasn't so busy. So got to the con, not right at opening, but fairly early, and it hadn't quite gotten crazy busy yet. As you can see, the walk-in is pretty chill. Ran into JP and Justin on my way in, and we were ready to hit the ground running. So this is the main hallway coming into the Earth Expo Center. A few vendors there. We just passed on the left there, kind of some of the other adjacent rooms to the main conference hall that we're about to walk into. It's where they have panels and a few other signings and different booths over on that side. But this is the big showroom. This is where the heart and soul of Terrificon takes place. It's where all the vendors are, almost all the celebrities, all the creators, artists, and writers. It's all within this huge conference space. But what's great about it is it's not crazy packed in like sardines. The laneways, the rows are fairly wide, so you could actually walk around somewhat decently. Of course, this is earlier. It does get busier than this, especially on Saturday. But it's still manageable. It's not like going to some places like Toronto or the Fan Expo Canada where it is just it's people's soup. But it definitely got really busy. As you can see, Gary was there. We're sorry to hear about his medical situation, but glad that he's on the mend. And I unfortunately didn't really meet him, but there's always next year. A lot of great sellers here, and a lot of places to go digging and go hunting. And it was just a really fun day at the con. And let's get into some of the other footage, the people I ran into, little updates on how the day was going for them. How's it going, Mike? What are we looking for today?
I have no idea. Yesterday was such a big day. I don't know. We're gonna experiment a little bit. Dig for cheaper books, maybe. Look for those bargain deals that you can find here, and maybe some original art. There's some really good, really good original art here.
Day 2, signatures out of the way, hunting for some run fillers and just good deals. So stay tuned for more. So what are we looking for, Dan? Let me guess. X-Men comics. All right. Any luck so far?
Yeah, I got a couple of like I got a 40 and a 107. Just felt like a good price, and I don't have a 40, so that was fun.
Beauty.
Just fun little picks.
And the hunt continues.
Yes, it does. Thank you. Thank you.
Now's the time to buy that. Now that she didn't show up in the Deadpool Wolverine.
Right, now we know what we're gonna get.
Now we know we don't have Taylor Swift as Dazzler.
Right.
I don't know for sure.
Well, you never say never, right?
That's true. Do that.
That was good.
I'm here with Awesome Toy Box with Troy. What do we got today so far on day 2? The first Gambit. Or
It's the
is
second.
it
It's the second.
first?
I'll fight people.
Cheddar put it all down.
It's
for us.
continuity.
Continuity. It's number 2.
Yes, because this story makes no sense without reading 266 first.
And anything else in there? Any
Nothing
other
major
goodies?
bangers, no.
All right. Well, yesterday was the big one. First man thing.
Savage Tales number
Man
1.
took it down. Hunt continues, day 2. Wait for the folks at Colossus Collector Channel. After a long day of hunting, a long day on the con floor, we ended up back at one of the rooms just hanging out. Finally got to meet my friend Josh from Sasquatch Comics and the whole crew. Mr. Akins was there that day on Saturday as well, and the whole crew was assembled. We just had a great time hanging out. We were looking at the books, some of the stuff that we got from the day, having a few drinks before the rest of the festivities. Even Bruce auctioned off a Wolverine 1 in the room. It was a lot of fun. Before we headed up one floor higher from my room and meet the guys from Three Men in the Basement, where they were doing their live Terrificon recap show of day 2. Shout out to Otto, Chinmo, Roger, and the brother. Thanks for having us on and for being kind of almost unofficial hosts of the weekend. It's their Super Bowl, as they call it, and we had a really great time hanging out with those guys in the evenings on the casino floor by the casino bar, and just awesome guys. So happy to have met them finally, and looking forward to hanging out with them again next year. Maybe make it to their comic swap that Otto was telling us about. I would love to make it down there for that. So just really happy to meet those guys, and it was a fun time being on the floor with everybody who was there watching and coming on live on their YouTube channel. So shout out to Three Men in a Basement. So the night continued back down on the casino floor at the casino bar, like I mentioned, with the guys from Three Men in the Basement and my whole crew. And we had an absolute great last night at Mohegan. Just good times, having drinks, talking, and getting to know each other more and more. In this photo, shout out to Larry from Magic Geeks. Larry and his daughter Hannah I met in line on day 1, and then hung out with them sporadically throughout the weekend, and they are both really great people, and really enjoyed meeting them, getting to know them. And look for Larry and Magic Geeks on Whatnot. They do sales all the time. Mike from Lunch Money always shouts them out and promotes them. So now I'm going to try to do the same. Check out Magic Geeks, follow them on Whatnot, and check out their sales on that platform. Also met Tessa from Tessa is a Nerd on Instagram, another great member of our community. It was awesome meeting her, and I swear, just everywhere around the show, on the casino floor, at the casino bar, anywhere at Mohegan Sun. I was running into people from our community, met all kinds of great people. Noah from Broke Boy Comics, Leroy Lambie, Morbius Comics, Albert Loves Comics. Met the whole crew from Canada, Newbie Comics, Black Crown Comics, my guy Ozzy Comics, Rocksteady Comics. Man, everybody met so many people, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a few, but there was just countless opportunities to get to know people and meet people in the community. It was an awesome time. And to polish the night off, another night in the cigar bar, smoking my favorite cigar with two amazing guys, Brandon and Josh. So Sunday morning, Ricky and Bruce had to leave early, so we got together for one big family breakfast. Whoa. Okay, back that up a bit. Yeah. So that's legendary comic artist Walt Simonson having breakfast with us. Story is, the day before, Saturday morning, the guys were in line at this restaurant for breakfast, and Walt Simonson came up, and they happened to ask him if he'd like to have breakfast with them. So a handful of the guys had breakfast with him on Saturday morning, and then a few of the other guys were at another table having breakfast. So then, come Sunday morning, the guys get to the breakfast place. They get a big table for the group of us, and Walt Simonson's there again. And why not have breakfast again with Walt Simonson? But this time it was with the whole group, and of course I was a little bit late because I had been up very late the last few nights, and I needed a little bit of extra sleep because I was driving home. And so I got to sit right next to Walt Simonson for that big breakfast, talk to him, and really have an enjoyable, memorable moment that I'm going to take with me from this weekend. Among all the other amazing things that I experienced this weekend, but this was the cherry on top. Breakfast with a legend and all my good, great comic brothers and friends. It was amazing. So just a little bit about Walt. Really nice guy, like such a kind man. He took pictures with us. He signed a menu from this restaurant to create a memorable keepsake with his signature and all our signatures on it. It was just an incredible experience. And, you know, we tried not to talk his ear off about comics and his life in comics, but we definitely talked a bit about that and just about life, and he was interested in us too. Again, I just can't say enough about him and about having breakfast with all these guys with him. It was really, really incredible. So after a great breakfast, back on the con floor for the last time, and the guys were all out looking for different things. We had a little powwow before we split off into little splinter groups doing all the things we needed to do. Some guys were meeting Charlie Cox from Daredevil. I was looking to buy a couple big books because I hadn't bought any big purchases on the weekend in terms of comics, so I was on the hunt, and also picking up my sketch covers from artists Joe Rubenstein and another artist I met named Bobby Breed, an incredible artist, an incredible guy, and I'll talk to you more about that in my next video, including what I purchased and picked up on this last day. But, you know, after a successful few hours on the con floor, it was time to start making our way towards the exit and heading home. Said goodbye to all the guys at some point here and there towards the end of that day. Snapped a couple pictures with some of the guys as we were leaving the con. Was missing them already. Such a great group of guys. It was sad to leave, but on the way out, on the way to the car, JP, Brandon, and I stopped, and JP gave me and Brandon each an incredible gift. He found a craftsman on the con floor and got us these frame pieces made. Again, another thing I'm going to show you in my next video, but just like one last amazing moment before leaving Mohegan Sun, and just blown away by JP's generosity. But like I said, we'll talk about that more in the next video. But that was it. That was the end of the con. Our first big Terrificon, our first big con trip with this group of awesome guys. I was back where we started, JP, Brandon, and I, in a car for 4+ hours. But it was great to have them with me, and it just prolonged the good times a little bit longer. Had great conversation with them, and dropped them off at Brandon's and headed the rest of the way home, and that was Terrificon 2024. So that is my story, my video diary of Terrificon 2024. Like I said at the top, incredible, incredible trip. Memories that'll last a lifetime. I honestly just can't say enough about it. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get all those guys, that whole group, that core group of guys together again like that. So many people from all over the place, so many different life circumstances. I know I'll see them all again, different places, different cons, but coming together that big of a group might be a tall task. Maybe down the line, but that was definitely a truly special weekend. And but I am looking forward to seeing them all again as soon as as possible, as soon as we can organize whatever we organize together. I'm definitely gonna continue to try to get together with those guys. So like I said, hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, commenting on this video, liking this video, and also please subscribe and follow all my friends, all the people I've mentioned in this video. They're all amazing. They're either on YouTube or IG or both. Honestly, all great all great channels to subscribe to or people to follow on Instagram. Can't recommend them highly enough. And again, stay tuned for part 2, where I'm going to take you through all the great stuff I got, and also take you through a few little regrets, a few little tips, some information, so that next time you go to Terrificon, you have as much information as you can find, and you can just absolutely maximize your time there. So that'll be part 2. And to finish things off, what kind of epic film doesn't have end credits? Roll them and keep collecting.